Okay, we're looking at page 14 at number 42, warm-up. We're not going to play this with the recording, but Cam's going to play that G for you. And what I want you to do at home is take and play that G over and over and hold it as long as you can hold it. Keep trying to hold it longer each time. So here's the G. So keep playing that G over and over and hold it as long as you can make it last. Now this is number 43, epic eighth notes. In this we have a new type of note. This new note is called an eighth note. An eighth note gets a half of a count. So it takes 2 eighth notes to make up 1 quarter note. So let's look at the first measure of number 43. If we count that measure, we would count that 1, 2, 3, and 4. Say that with me. Ready? Now, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now if we play that the same way. Ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Okay, this is number 44, Michael Finnegan. We're going to go over this in 2 measure sections. So we'll do the first 2 measures, then the first ending, then we'll look at the second ending before we put it all together. So let's say and finger the first 4 measures. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, say and finger. C, 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 C. E, G, E, E, C. So if we count that, we're counting that 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So count that with Cam playing. Also finger and say the note names while he plays. So let's play those first 2 measures together now. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. And look at the first ending here. The first ending tells us that we play that the first time only, and the repeat sign sends us back to the beginning. So when we get to that first ending the second time, we can't reuse it. We have to skip and go to the second. So let's look at the first ending. It's counted 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's say the note names and finger that. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, now. D, 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 B, D, B, B, B. All right, let's play that first ending together. 1, 2, first ending, now. And keep going over that, fingering and saying the note names, fingering and saying the counting, and playing along. Now let's look at the second ending. Let's say and finger the second ending. 1, 2, say and finger, now. G, F, E, E, D, C, 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 C. We count that 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's play that second ending together. 1, 2, ready, now. All right, now we're ready to go all the way through number 44. Remember, to play this, we play the first measure, then the second measure, then we play the first ending and repeat back to the first measure, then the second measure, then we skip the first ending and play the second ending. Here we go. Horns are up. 1, 2, 44 now. And keep backing this up and going over it until you're comfortable counting those eighth notes. We're looking at number 45, eighth note Escapade, where in 43, the eighth notes were on the third beat, In 45, they're on the 4th beat. So we count this 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Count that first measure with me. Ready? Here we go. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So when we play that, we'll play that ta, 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 ti, ti. Say that with me. Ready? Now, ta, 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 ti, ti. Now, all 4 measures are counted and played the same in this. So we're going to play all the way through 45. So go ahead and get ready to play. Play along. 1, 2, playing 45. 4 and 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So keep backing that up and going over it until you're comfortable with those 8th notes on the 4th beat. Okay, this is line 46, Skill Builder Processional Dance. We're going to do this in 2 measure sections. The roadmap for this is just like number 44. We do the first 2 measures, then the first ending, then back to the beginning for the first 2 measures, then we skip to the second ending. So let's say and finger the first 2 measures of 46. Here we go. 1, 2, say and finger. C, 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 B, B, C, D, E, hold. If we count that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, hold 4. So count that while Cam plays and finger that while Cam plays. Now we can play together. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, first 2 measures, play. So keep backing these 2 measures up, alternating between counting, saying the note names, and playing. Now let's look at the first ending. Let's say and finger the first ending. 1, 2, first ending, now. E, G, F, E, 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 hold, D, hold. And to count that first ending, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, hold, 3, hold. So let's play that together. You can keep backing this up and fingering and counting and playing these 2 measures. Here we go. Playing the first ending. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, keep backing that up and going over it, fingering and counting, fingering and saying the note names, and playing. Now let's look at the second ending. Let's say and finger. Ready? 1, 2, second ending. Now. G, G, A, F, F, E, D, C, hold. Now the fermata over the last note, the little bird's eye, tells us to hold that as long as the director says. If there is no director, the general rule is just to hold it twice its normal value. So we count that second ending, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and then we just hold. So now we're going to play that together. You can keep going back and forth between playing, fingering and counting, and fingering and saying the note names. Here we go. 1, 2, play now. All right, now we're ready to go all the way through 46. Remember, the roadmap on this is first measure, second measure, then the first ending, back to the first measure, second measure, then the second ending. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, now. Now we're looking at number 47, Baja Breeze. This is a test line normally, so you won't spend some extra time on it. Again, we're using eighth notes, but we'll notice in this the eighth notes aren't staying on the same beat. So let's look at the first two measures. We count this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the eighth notes in the first measure are on the fourth beat, and the eighth notes in the second measure are on the third beat. So let's say and finger the first two measures. Here we go. 1, 2, say and finger. C, D, E, 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 F, E, D, D, D. And back that up and say and finger and count and finger. Now let's look at the first ending. The counting here, we have the eighth notes on beat 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, rest. So let's say and finger this. Ready? 1, 2, say and finger. Now, B, C, D, 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 C, D, E, rest. So back that up and go over it as many times as you need, saying and fingering and counting along. So let's play those first four measures, the beginning to the end of the first ending. Let's play that together. Ready? 1, 2, first 4, now. And that repeats back to the beginning. We play the first two measures, then we have the second ending. So let's look at that second ending now. It's counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, rest, 3 and 4. So the first measure of the second ending, the eighth notes are on beat 4, and in the second measure of the second ending, they're on beat 3. So let's say the note names and finger this. Second ending, ready? 1, 2, say and finger, now. G, A, E, D, D, C, rest. C, C, C. Okay, so keep backing that up and going over it until you, and saying and fingering, and saying and counting and fingering while you do it, and playing together. So now we're going to play all the way through 47. Remember, the road map gives us the first measure, second measure, first ending, repeats back to the beginning, first measure, second measure, and then skips to the second ending. Here we go. Horns are up. 1, 2, ready, begin. Rest. So keep rewinding that video and going over it until you're ready to play that for a test grade.